we begin the program. The way that we set up the room is that you can just come in, sit down. Please sign in when you enter, and there's going to be a bathroom off to the right, off to my right specifically, when you go through this door. If you need to pray, if you have kids that are getting a little out of hand, you can just bring them in through there, inshallah, and take care of them. Also, we want to give a big thank you to our sponsors, including our many donors who have chosen to remain anonymous, and including Urban Thali, which is a new Islamic business that has opened up here in Atlanta. They're a halal food truck. The carts are available for both bookings and available for events, and they usually will operate in downtown Atlanta. You can find out more information about them outside. The cost of the food is going to be around $7 if you guys want to give it a try. Also, now that I've kind of finished on that, let me go ahead and get into who 51214 is specifically. 51214 was a youth group founded on behalf of the Atlanta Shia community amongst our youth that came together and said, look, there is not a unified voice that really represents the Atlanta youth. And what we wanted to do is that from all the different centers, we brought youth together, and we sat down back in December of last year, and we said, hey, let's go ahead and get an organization together that can be a voice for us, that can deal with the issues that us as youth have to deal with. And that is why we've kind of evolved. So there are some members of us that you will see. We're usually going to be wearing mainly black and gray today. So if you have any questions about that, you can see us. We're also going to be the ones kind of moving around and everything, to kind of make sure everything gets handled. And as kind of a starting point for what we wanted to do, we wanted to mainly start the organization out with the prospect of unity. See, as far as the mission that we as an organization have come forward with, we wanted to demonstrate that as an organization that we are open to working with Muslims from diverse backgrounds and represent a voice that is going to be speaking towards the future of what our community is to become. Because essentially, we as the youth, whether we want to accept it or not, are going to be the future of this community. And you can't expect that this community is going to grow and develop the way that it really needs to if we are not doing the things that we need to be doing and addressing the concerns of the youth in a way that's cohesive and understandable. So today's event is named In Allah We Trust, Unity in America. This event was established under that exact premise of what I just mentioned, the prospect of unity. Unity for us as Muslims starts with us getting to know one another, starts as us being a community, being able to work together. And that is essentially what we're trying to get at. See, with what we have asked the speakers to speak about and the poets that will be coming up today to kind of address, is how when you look at the Muslim world today, you don't see unity. You see disunity, particularly in Muslim countries. And what we really wanted to touch on was the fact that here in America, we have a unique opportunity. Shias and Sunnis aren't killing each other on the streets here in the US. There aren't bombs going off in the streets constantly here in the US. Shias and Sunnis can sit down, we can have dialogues, we can get to know one another, we can be friends with one another. And we can do so in the remembrance of the teachings of Rasulullah and the Ahlul Bayt, alayhi salam. And we can do so with this, and probably even establish a more prominent role as far as the Muslim world is concerned in terms of where we stand. And even deeper than that, we can be an example. We can even be an example to the rest of the Muslim world of how Islam should properly be practiced. And finally, these speakers will be addressing topics related to the difficulties that we're going to face in terms of having to get there. Whether you're talking about an identity crisis, whether you're talking about the difficulties of what it really means to be Muslim. Everybody here is from a diverse background. You're either Pakistani, you're either Arab, Persian, you may be American, you may be a domestic born. But at the end of the day, you have to reconcile with your identity. Are you an Arab? Are you a Muslim? Are you a Pakistani? Are you an Indian? These questions are ones that are on the minds of the youth. And these questions are the ones that need to be addressed, whether they want to address them directly or not. They may or may not want to speak about it, but it's something that they want to address, and it's something that they're going to contemplate over. Whether, if they haven't done so yet, they're going to eventually, because they're going to be challenged. If we're not the ones providing the challenge is going to come from the outside when they're actually out in the real world. So we want to be able to provide an avenue for them to address it adequately. So inshallah, we will go ahead. Everybody here has gotten a copy of the schedule, which you can get at the front. So now we're going to go ahead and invite a poet to come up by the name of Muhammad Irtiza-Zaidi to come up and recite a poem for us with a loud salawat. Allah.